So without further ado, allow me to invite Faith for an icebreaker. Faith and Gemma?
I am here. I'm here. Yeah, so I'm at a place that the network is not very stable, so allow me not to put the video on, but I hope people can hear me. So to start us off, this is just a question that we want. If you're courageous enough, you can raise your hand and respond. If not, you can just type it in. Let us hear your views on this one. So if you're to start a business, what name could you give it and why? If you're to start up a business, what name could you give it and why? Let us know. And those who already have businesses, don't give us the current business name. Be creative. Let us know what kind of names you can come up with and why are you choosing that particular name. So let's go. Engage us in the chat section. If not, you can be courageous and bold enough to just let us know that you're there, ready to respond to the question. So if you're to start a business, what name would you choose? And why are you choosing that particular name? All right. Anyone willing to start us off? If you start a business, what name could you give it and why are you choosing that particular name?
Faith, I think chat is not enabled.
Oh, it is disabled. Yeah, I've seen that.
Yeah, so Dan, maybe you can help. I'm the host. I don't know how to do that. I know it's somewhere here. So maybe you can continue and ask people to speak up as I figure out.
Yes, lift up your hand if you want to answer this. Raise your hand if we know how to use that bit of the chat section, the reaction section. Just raise your hand and tell us, if you were to start a business, what name would you give it and why? Why would you give it that name? Engages people. We are here to just have fun as we wait for our speaker to come on board, which is in a few minutes time. He's already ready for you. He has prepared. So let us set the tone for him. Give us your responses. What name can you give your new business?
Faith, I think they can respond on the Q&A because the chat is not responding.
Okay. The chat, I think it is. I've seen.
Okay. I clicked enable, so I don't know whether it has worked. That's fine.
It is. It has worked, yeah. So Damaris, you're saying beautiful start. Thank you for that. Dr. Susan, you're saying it's okay. So our chat is on. People, let's engage. If you're to start a business, what name would you give it and why? That's a random question for a random answer. You don't have to overthink. Let's see how many creatives we have in the room. I'm hoping people will not use their names as their business names. Give us something unique and tell us why. Damaris, you're saying dropping high. Wow. Hey, that's a good one. Why dropping high? What is the context behind it? Let us know in the chat section. What is the context behind dropping high? I like this. You're dropping, but you're dropping high. Let's see. What is the basis of the name? Anyone else as Damaris is typing for us? Aha, Dr. Susan, you're saying eagles because of the eagles character. Nice. I like this. John Otieno, Mali Rahisi collection. That's a good one. Mali Rahisi collection. Damaris, you're saying why you're saying dropping high is because rocking failure and bold to make mistakes for growth. I love that. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. Awesome. All right. Then there is Nyambura Mbogo. You're saying quick sort services to relate with customers. Wow, you're sorting them quick. Nothing like delays or something like that. Roberto Mondi, you're saying business name Sweetness Galore. I mean, you guys are so creative. Sweetness Galore, wow. What is the basis of that one? Let's know why you chose that one. Evelyn, you're saying nature's best because of my love for environmental conservation. Awesome, great, nature's best. This is great. I am loving it. Where? Sweetness Galore. This one I can become a customer. I don't know what will be sweet, but we shall just galore inside there. That's a good one. Thank you, people. Let's keep them coming. This is interesting. Aha, this one is for Grace. Mapema is best. Grace, you have a business name. Mapema is best. Eh? That's yours. Eh? Mapema and your best. That is good. Awesome. Aha, Robert, you're saying sweetness galore, dealing with tasty fries. Okay. We won't mind about the kilos. We shall come and test the sweetness in the fries. Wow. Nelson, is this a question or is this a business name? How are we in here? Is that a business name? I'd really love that one. How are we in here? Like you just find yourself there and you ask yourself a question, how am I here? Chalam Mwigayo saying Zanesta Consultants. Where? This one is a group of schools name. My son's name and mine combined. Wow. All right. Amen. Shule, Zanesta Consultants. Thank you so much for that. People, patent your name. Someone will just run with this one. All right. Irene Mugambi, you're saying May Lily, born in May, like lilies. Wow. May Lily. People are so creative. Animuti, so you're saying Anisense with a Kabi. Wow. Okay, all right. Business names. Watu wa kuiba majina ndio hizi hapa. Elizabeth Okumu, you're saying edible delights because of sweet tooth for cakes and pastries. Awesome. Great. I'm loving the names. I'm really loving the names. Anyone else who's feeling creative with the name? Drop it, drop it. Elon Musk, Mkamba. Maris, you're just on a roll. Wow. Elon Musk, Mkamba, sawa. Monica Sifuna, you're saying MSE or MS-E HR consultancy already in existence to mean Monica Sifuna Evelia. Wow. Hey, okay. All right. This one, you really thought about it. Hey, Nelson Oguda, you're saying Ace and Doyens experts. Hey, wow. All right. Names are coming, names are coming, names are coming. This is nice. Tabitha, you're saying stay, a combination of 3. Kindly expound this. This is interesting. Stay, a combination of 3. Awesome. Jesper, you're saying lifeline connectors. We bridge the gap. I like that. Lifeline connectors, we bridge the gap. Great. Some of these names just speak to you. This is awesome. Dar Miyogu, you're saying agility consultants because of the ability to quickly respond to change. You're agile, yeah? This is awesome. Great, great, great. This quite a number of names here. Elon Musk, Mkamba, is there anything else coming our way? All right, Midas Touch, awesome. Midas Touch reminds me of a song. I think there's a song that goes by that. Midas Touch, or I'm just imagining. So this is great. I think now I can hand it over to Grace. In case there is more, we can definitely read them as we continue. Juma Mohammed, let me read this last one. Impact HR, success throughout people. Oh, throughout people. Where? All right. Blue Concepts, allergic to compare. All right. Dottie, you're saying girl touch. I assume this is a girl's thing, yeah? Nice. Thank you so much, everyone, for being wonderful in this session. I'm sure some of us have gotten business names from this, and very soon you'll see them trending online. Thank you for being our idea bank. Bankable ideas are here because of you wonderful people. So thank you so much. That was interesting. That was lovely. So Grace, back to you. Take us through the next session. Asanteni sana.
Thank you so much, Faith. That was quite interesting. I mean, some names are quite something. So that is amazing, amazing. Thank you so much. Richard, you are sharing your screen. Yeah, so allow me to welcome Damaris. Allow me to welcome Damaris. Damaris will give us a report on what has been happening on Transcend. Damaris Ndongwa, please take it away.
Hey, Grace, I'm not sure whether it's me, but let me put my video on.
Let me recognize the presence of Madam Kuresha, the ED. She's with us. Thank you very much, Madam, for joining in. Yes, Damaris.
Let me pick my sound. So good evening, everyone. There's no mornings or afternoons. At least we're sure we are all Kenyans here. So I'm happy to be here, happy to see a lot of mentors and mentees and some visitors. So welcome. This is Damaris Ndungwa. I sit in the Transcend Steering Committee. And as Grace is calling me for the record, it's because I'm the one who sort of takes care of the secretarial element of the committee. So we are here excited in the masterclass, the third one. It's making in the Transcend coaching, mentorship for HRs. And like Grace started by saying, in this third masterclass, we've had great progress. We also had some confusions, which is quite typical, and of course, I would say expected for anything that is starting. But most importantly, I would say we are making great progress from most of the Transcend circles, that is the coaching circles. So I don't know, Grace, whether you want me to go specifically group by group or just an overall kind of measure, because
you can go group by group if you have information. If not, you can give a general overview.
Let me just give a general overview just to emphasize mostly on the progress that has been made by most groups. We have about 5 circles which have actually made tremendous improvement, not improvement, but progress, because they have moved on having more than 7 to actually others have 9 sessions. That is just not as even as the circle itself, but even as broken, paired, the mentor-mentee kind of an engagement. I have about 3 of them circles that have done that. And within the mentor-mentee, within the circle, over 4 to 5 meetings within that. Overall, as a group, meetings progressively going on in weekly. We have about 3 circles doing that. Which is a good thing, good mentorship topics selected for most of the circles who know what they are mentoring themselves. I wish we would just have another session where we could hear on how the progress specifically from the horse's mouth. And I want to appreciate the efforts some mentors are putting into so that they can be able to coordinate the frameworks they have put in terms of meeting time and timelines, which is a good thing. Of course, like I said, from the start, we have that some who seem to have a bit of struggling movement here, not comfortable with some meeting time, so switching groups and all that, which is expected, but at least there's a bit of settling at this point. Some groups, of course, there's attrition, some people dropped off, about 3 of them, 3 circles experiencing that. And what I like about it is because some have at least stabilized. They didn't have, in the earlier report in the other masterclass had not met, but they have shown some effort in meetings and being to find out how to benefit by. I have a case who have been able to identify coaching topics and engaged. At least they have 2 meetings so far. So Grace, that's the overview I have at the point. What I can mention is for me, having over 6 of the groups making great progress, benefits coming through reports, it's a plus and something worth calling a milestone at this point. So yes, that's all I have. I think because of visitors, I don't know if I want to go to the details more
That's
than
okay.
that.
That's fine.
Thank
you very much, Damaris. I think I have seen as well, I can attest what you're speaking of. I can attest that there has been quite some great progress in terms of the reports we've gotten from the mentors and the mentees. Some have really connected, some have taken milestones. Like that personal branding has been covered in quite some circles in a very interesting way. So we are very happy about the progress, and we can only get better going forward. So as we get on to the next milestone, we hope that we will now, because we have now settled, now we can now roll the ball. So it is a challenge to you mentor leaders and whoever it is that you have chosen to take on the next role. I've seen, I think it's Octopus that is switching mentor leaders, but the current mentor leader is still going to be the secretary. So that is really an amazing job. So congratulations to all the circles. We are happy that the mentors are able to meet with the mentees and there's progress. For those of you who are experiencing some challenges, it's fine. And we will keep perfecting this thing as we go. All right, so on to the business of the day. We have the masterclass we are calling Creating Valuable Partnerships. And with us is none other than our very own Richard J. Magoma. Richard J. Magoma is an award-winning HR professional. He has been in the industry for, So Richard J. Magoma is our speaker this evening. Richard, stop looking at me like I am about to mention a bad thing about you. Please pay attention. You are a good man. So Richard J. Magoma is an award-winning HR professional. He's currently the most inspiring male HR of the year. And that one has not been contented yet. We do not have anyone else as of now. And so Richard is an award-winning and certified HR professional with over 10 years experience. He is a career coach, life coach, thought leader, corporate speaker, and motivational speaker. He's very eloquent, transformational, and impactful in his speeches. Coaching, mentoring, and training. Coach Richie, as he is popularly known, has won many performance and inspirational awards. He is an engaging and interactive speaker who knows how to connect with diverse audiences for optimum impact. He has used his powerful voice to inspire, empower, and motivate employees and people to achieve excellence. Being a human resource expert, he has made him possess incredible and solid insights into human performance, discipline, and motivation. He regularly moderates during trainings, conferences, and seminars. He has been interviewed and written for the People Daily, TV47, The Standard Online, Voice It, and other social media platforms. He is a frequent writer on the Business Daily and LinkedIn. In 2021, he was the chief consultant during the Kenya's first male in HR convention, and I am happy to report that he was also the person in charge of the second one. So we have made progress. He's passionate about communication, and he uses humor, stories, critical thinking, creative writing, and the art to positively transform employees and performance. So Richard today is going to take us through partnerships. And Richard, we are very excited to have you this evening, and we are looking forward to impact. So take it away. We cannot hear you, Richard. You're on mute.
And now?
Yes, we can hear you.
All right.
Yes, we can. And you're sharing a screen.
You can be able to see the screen.
Yes, I think
I can
that's
see
on your email.
Yeah. Great. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. I'm very sure that By the end of this conversation, we are going to become business people. Some of us are going to become entrepreneurs, because this is the essence of this particular engagement, that we should become business people. Some of us should become entrepreneurs. And we all know that there is a huge difference between being a business person and being an entrepreneur. I will not go into the nitty-gritties of differentiating between business and entrepreneurship. That one, I'll leave it to the genius of business elevation. My good friend Grace, she's the one who's probably is going to tell us what are the differences. When you want to become an entrepreneur, what does it look like? When you want to become a business person, what does it look like? Our guest, so to speak, the executive director of the Institute of Human Resource, we really appreciate for this forum that has been able to open our organizational skills. We have been able to network. We have been able to partner. Transcend is a product of partnership. I'm sure there is our friend there, the Sandpaper, who has been very instrumental as well towards the development of Transcend. You know, Transcend is whereby you exceed expectations. We have exceeded expectations, even if we have failed in certain things, but we have learned a lot. Keeping this group for a long time and being able to carry out certain programs has been very important. Now, let us start. You've been introduced to me as an award-winning human resource practitioner. I am a motivational speaker as well, and I'm also a personal excellence coach. Today, we are going to discover what are the narratives, what are the stories, what are the things behind partnerships? What are partnerships? And as I've said, Transcend is a product of partnerships. Atara Solution is a product of partnerships. The Institute of Human Resource Management is a product of partnerships. Blue Concept Africa is a product of partnerships. Doyen is a product of partnerships. Yes, there may be the original person who conceives the idea, but once an idea has become big, a single person, even the ministry of Jesus Christ had a partnership of 12 people. Even Muhammad, peace be upon him, had a relationship with very many people who were able to carry the message of the good word to the people. So partnerships are very important when people want to catapult their visions and missions to greater heights of performance. A single person can be able to give birth to a vision, can be able to give birth to a mission, can be able to give birth strategies that needs to be achieved. But there is a level it reaches that it becomes difficult, that it becomes a challenge for you to be able to reach certain levels of performance. In fact, the other day when we were talking about branding, I asked Grace, you've been able to give birth to Atara Solutions, but there is a point where you need now to do talent acquisition. You need to attract talent. You need to retain. You know, attracting of talent may be easy, but retaining of talent could be difficult because of certain things that are existing. So for you to move from a dream, you need people, you need a team to transcend, to elevate the products and services that you have, because the challenge becomes big. That is why you need to delegate certain responsibilities and duties to other people who are specialized. As we are going to see the definition of partnership, part of it is when people of certain competencies, people of certain functions, people of certain values, people of certain dreams come together and share and complement, because In fact, we're going to discover that partnership is a complementing undertaking, in the sense that, for example, I am good in communication. Somebody else is good in numbers. Therefore, we complement, we come together and create a particular entity that can be able to drive certain services, certain products to the audience. And the audience, by audience, I mean to the market, to a particular niche. And of course, when you're marketing your product, you must choose a particular audience. You're not going to sell certain services. You're not going to sell certain products to everybody. You have to choose. Part of this partnership is to choose which audience, which market are you going to target as you sell your product. There is a man who said that if I've seen Father, it is by standing on the shoulders of giants. Partnership is a product of learning from other people. Partnership is about standing on the shoulders of others. If you think that you can be successful in this life without partnerships, without synergy, without collaboration, you will be wrong. The other day, I was watching a movie on how Spotify came into being. It's a product of certain synergies. Microsoft is a product of certain synergies, certain collaborations. The reason why most of us are stuck in certain levels of performance is because they believe in Lone Ranger strategies. But if you want to elevate, I'm sure I'm using this word and Frida is going to reward me for using it. If you want to elevate your game, so to speak, you must be able to attract better, rare conversations, talent acquisition, talent retaining, such that you can be able now to complement one another in terms of what you know. Let's move forward. As you can see, we are going to understand what is partnership in terms of synonyms. Partnerships are cooperations. That is why in job descriptions, human resource practitioners emphasize that you must be a team player. That is why in modern speak, we say that you must be a person who brings certain synergies. So when you're forming a partnership, which is going to bring maximized profit, because in most instances, partnerships are geared towards creating profit. You must bring certain synergies, certain energies to the organization. So I will be able to see, all right, this person has certain qualities, has certain skills, has certain dexterities. How do I marry? How do I align with this person such that we can be able to maximize our profit undertaking? So it is important to know that a partnership is where the participants, the stakeholders are able to attract talent that is going to complement so that they can move forward in terms of reaching their goals, in terms of reaching their strategic direction. Organizations that thrive, organizations that create more profit, organizations that succeed in having a larger market share is where you get, there's a lot of cooperation between teams. This is where the silo mentality is killed, that these organizations have departments that synergize, are able to collaborate. The mentality of silos is killed because you cannot succeed alone. I cannot become an auditor. I cannot become a finance person in one. Yeah, of course, there are people who are gifted in becoming many things. But for you to progress forward, you must be able to attract certain talents. It is of necessity that for that association, for that collaboration, for that dream team, for that strategic alliance to be successful and excel, you must be a good talent spotter. As a person who is building a partnership, you must be very deliberate, very intentional in attracting certain talents. You pick certain talent and say that let us come together, we complement one another, and we achieve these dreams. As we're going to see later in the theories of entrepreneurship, different people are going to bring different psychological benefits to the partnership. So some of the synonyms of partnership are coalitions, alliances, unions, league affiliations. And the word I like most is synergy and relationship. You must be able to have that gift. You must be able to have that attitude of creating deliberate relationship. And for you to create a relationship, you must compromise on certain things. There are certain things you are going to compromise because we will have different viewpoints. But in spite of our different viewpoints, we will compromise and achieve the dream that we have so designed to achieve, whichever business that we want to achieve. So in a partnership that is going to be productive, in a partnership that is going to be efficient, in a partnership that is going to be effective, we must be people who understand that talent is important. In fact, I'm not very good in theological matters, but there is a place in the Bible, it says that your talent must grow. If your talent is not growing, then you're not going to have food. You get the connection of the not eating and having the talent. So you must grow your talent in a partnership. You bring certain competencies in a partnership. So for you to create a partnership that is profitable, do competence mapping. Map the competence of the person you want to be your partner. Don't just create partnerships for the sake of it. Assess which skills will this person bring on board to the partnership. Now, some of the partnerships, we know that you can partner with the government in trading. Okay, you can sign agreements with the government for you to do business. And of course, you must be a registered entity. So which means, Faith, the challenge you gave us to start with names is very important for partnerships. You must decide that this is the name that I want to craft to become the name of my organization. And that name must be able to connect with the services, with the products you are producing. In the conversation, Faith warned us against using our names. You can imagine somebody using Richard. Okay, it is fine, but it is advised. Most people advise that use a name that can go beyond you. Use a name that can transcend you. Right? When you're choosing a name for a partnership. Customers are part of the partnerships. Who are you going to sell your services? You must decide, I am going to serve a particular niche for me to be able to get product. You cannot be able to serve everybody. You decide which customer will be able to buy my products. Which partners, which customers are going to buy my services or products. So you must be able to decide in your analyzing what you want to achieve, that you are addressing a particular problem. In fact, a partnership is a vehicle to solve certain problems. For example, a Tara solution solves the problem of bringing knowledge, entrepreneurial knowledge, to a particular clientele. So you must decide as a partnership, what solutions are you providing as a partnership? You and your partners, they could be one, they could be two, they could be three. There's a limit, a legal limit, I think is 51. I don't know. Lawyers are there to tell us how many should we have as a limit. So you must be able to decide the name, you must be able to decide your customers that you're going to serve. Your other partnerships can be fellow professionals. For example, you can come together as a HR group and form an entity or a consultancy that solves a particular problem. You form a partnership, or if you're a medic, you come together with a certain medical person, you come together and decide to solve a certain, maybe you want to be a dentist, you want to solve dentistry problems. So those partnerships must have a certain objective. So other partnerships you will have, because you're going to ask yourself, who is going to supply the goods? Who is going to supply certain things such that I am able to achieve certain ends? So you must have a relationship. It is a continuous formation of relationship. You must have a good relationship with your supplier, and you must audit what kind of suppliers you want to build your partnership. Because if you attract mediocre and substandard suppliers, your strategic ends are not going to be met. As you build your partnership, you must assess what kind of partners, what kind of suppliers. I've already spoken about the workers, the human resource, which is a very important element. So by definition, is a collaborative relationship between organizations. You can have organizations coming together. You can have people coming together and create that organism that is going to promote certain visions, certain missions, certain core values. It must have a purpose. Why does it exist? That must be very clear. There must be clarity of what you want to achieve. You cannot be everywhere. You can't serve every Tom, Dick, and Harry. You must say that I'll serve a particular segment of the population in your partnership. You can't be a headless chicken. You can't be a person who is aimless. You must decide that my clientele is human resource practitioners, or my clientele is people who want to start a business. It must be very clear. And that's why communication is very important in building partnerships. And of course, partnerships are very complex. Complex in the way they start. In the way they start, there is a legal framework to them. I can assure you there are people who have suffered because they ignored. I am one of them who has suffered. Lack of knowledge that you must have a legal document. A partnership that is going to be successful is a partnership that addresses the legal aspects of its existence. If you forget to address, you will suffer the pain many people have suffered by not addressing the legal aspect of a partnership. It is a very complex thing. Let us move towards what are the elements of partnerships. If you want your partnership to attract profitability, if you want your partnership to address efficiency, if you want your partnership to address effectiveness, if you want to maximize the resources that are existing within your environment ecosystem, there must be an agreement between partners. These partners could be 2, these partners could be 3. And you must decide that, is it a social enterprise, for example? Is it a profit-oriented partnership? That clarity has to be there. Of course, most of us who are here are those who have the profit motive in them. How do you manage expenses? Because if you do not manage expenses of your enterprise or your partnership, even if you get a lot of revenue, you will not be able to excel. You will not be able to succeed because the element of cost containment is a problem for you. That is why you should be able to bring a person who is able to manage expenses. And of course, the people who are coming together have a mutual, I'm moving fast because we only have 30 minutes. There is a business, you have a mutual business interest. That seriousness of business has to be there within the partnership. Remember, our topic is creating partnerships that attract profit. And for you to attract profit, cost management is very, very important. As I was moving by, I said that for you to be able to create a partnership, there's certain steps that you need to follow. You should be guided by those steps. You should What do you want to do? Objectives. What are your aims? Why are you starting that particular enterprise? That must be very clear to you. Secondly, you must be able to, Richard and Nelson have come together to start probably an analytic class. What are my interests as Richard? What are the interests of Nelson in this particular enterprise? What do I gain out of it? It must be spelled out in an agreement. What percentages of profit do I get? How do we share the losses? The other very important element in creating partnerships so that it can be able to achieve its strategic ends is measurements. You must be able to measure your responsibilities. You must be able to measure your duties. You must be able to measure your functions. I am sure if I said that which is not measured cannot be achieved, Nelson will give me 1,000 bob or 20,000 shillings. That which cannot be measured cannot be achieved. You must be able to measure what you want to achieve. Create KPIs, for example. You must decide which method is going to measure our responsibilities, our duties, our functions, our financial contribution, our muscle contribution, our competence, because some people may not have money to bring into the business. They have the mental capabilities, but somebody else has been able to find gold and sold the gold, and they want to start business. They do not know how to do a P&L. They will invite somebody who has the mental capacity to perform that work.
Richard,
So it is, yes, please.
if you could just give us a minute, there is somebody who needs to talk as you sort out your screen, because we can only see your email, not the presentation you're working on. So as you sort that out, allow me to welcome Madam Kresha to say hello to everyone as Richard sorts out the issue with the presentation. Karibu, Madam Kresha.
Thank you, Grace. I can't see myself. Can you guys see me?
Yeah, we can.
Yes.
We can. Yeah.
I don't know. I can, I'm used to see. I apologize for distracting you guys. I just have to jump onto something else. I honestly thought we were finishing by 7:30. I've just seen that we were going up to 8:30. Mine is, first of all, to appreciate everyone who has made this possible. Especially.
We can't hear you, Madam.
Can you hear me now?
You sound very far.
And now?
Yes.
Good. Let me. So I have to hold my phone upwards so that I can communicate. So mine is, first of all, to appreciate everyone, starting with TST. You will find out later what that means. To the mentors for kujitolea to help us mentor our mentees. To the mentees, you've had some who dropped out. Congratulations for staying on. It's worth and it stands for something. Once in a while, I see and I go through what you are discussing, and I'm just amazed how much we've evolved in the last 3 months, even as we prepare for the next cohort. I know that you will go out there, shine, and carry the flag high. As you are aware, the plan is to have at least 4 cohorts and then graduate at once. And this time around, it's our hope that we will have many mentors and more mentees. The interest is just high. I know today we have visitors, people who are not in the program, so that you see the progress these different teams have made. And I hope that you will be able to hear from a mentee and a mentor how the process was, so that you volunteer. This profession, we need to give back. And how we give back is that we must have more structured mentorship programs for the HR professionals. how do we position ourselves? And I like that now we're talking about how do we partner with others to achieve what we want. And you will see that, especially for those in the program, how that has helped you. Partnership is key, whether you are partnering with a mentor and mentee or within the mentees themselves. Thank you so much. And I know that I will reach out to each one of you individually so that we can get back and hear from you how this journey has been, what can we improve, and what will you give back. So please, I know in the next coming days, when I call, I'll have all your numbers, please pick it. I'll do randomly, but I'll make sure that I speak to everyone. I appreciate you. It's not easy to dedicate time, especially when it's a structured program. Thank you so much for coming out, and thank you so much. I cannot sign out without thanking Frida in a very, very special way. I'm sure you've heard the name Sandpaper. There is a reason why she was called that. It's amazing when you have someone like that in your team. You will always win. To Grace, to Richard, to Damaris, thank you. We appreciate your selflessness, and please keep it up. I know there are so many of you that I may not have mentioned you in name, but we have amongst you, we have doctors. Amongst you, we have people who are leaders in their own other capacities, but they've come out. To the rest who have joined us today, please take advantage, send in your application, and let's transcend. We are calling for mentees and mentors. Ours is structured. I know many of you have on the side, but it's the way to go. It doesn't matter which level of your profession you are, you must have a mentor. And that's the platform we are providing for, especially to the young and upcoming HR professionals. Thank you so much, and back to you, Grace.
Thank you very much, Madam Kuresha. Thank you for the opportunity. And also thank you for creating such a platform that we get to create more competent HR professionals as we move forward. And we appreciate your leadership as well as we continue growing and becoming better. For those of you who are asking for more details about the program, we will be sharing that. But however, we have done one milestone. We have done branding. Now we are moving into partnership, and from there we have 4 to go. And every milestone will be getting new people to join the cohort. Richard, are you ready? Has your machine worked? There's a time you were able to project. What happened? You're on mute, Richard.
What about now?
We can only see your email.
All right, let's move on. Don't be distracted by the presentation. I'm not a fan of PowerPoint.
Then remove the screen and let's see you.
You can't see me?
We can see your emails. We do not want to see your emails.
Okay.
We want to now focus on your talk then.
You can stop sharing.
Yeah. I happen to have the admin hosts. Let's go.
Okay, all right. I was talking about partnerships and how they can be able to bring profitability by attracting the right competencies, the right talent acquisitions, the right goal, the right communication. Now, let us move swiftly to what are some of the qualities that will make, after having addressed the goals, attracting talent, being a registered entity, legal entity, what do you need as a partnership in terms of the core competencies, such that you can be able to move your vehicle to its logical end? One of the most interesting qualities that you're going to need, if you ask me, is the ability to be innovative, the ability to be very creative. People who come together. If you look at those large organizations that are in existence, they were once kiosks that were invented. They were kiosks that were once created. And you know, of course, the difference between creation and innovation. Creativity is whereby you think of fresh ideas as a partner of that particular enterprise. Innovation is now the actualization. I know most of us have 1,001 dreams, have 1,001 projects that they want to achieve, but they cannot be able to achieve those because they lack that element of creativity, that element of probably rebranding, that element of reinventing. You know, like in Kenya, we have a problem. If I start a kiosk of M-Pesa, most likely, Irene Kimasha will also start an M-Pesa. Probably that is what distinguishes partnerships that are entrepreneurial and partnerships that are business-oriented. But if you want to create a large partnership that is going to live beyond you, that is going to transcend you, you must be a person who is very creative. The partners have got to be very creative in terms of bringing in new services, in terms of giving solutions to existing problems in a new way, because problems evolve and we can only be able to overcome that problem if we are partners who are creative, if we are partners who are innovative, if we are partners who are able to bring freshness to the problem, fresh solutions to existing problems or emerging problems. The other core determinant of a partnership that is going to be productive is ethical practices. Ethical practices are very important for any partnership that is going to be profitable. If you do not have a set of ethical values that you embrace, that partnership is not going to see the light of day. And by ethical practices, I mean things like processes, things like governance, things like policies, the do's and don'ts of the organization. You cannot succeed because at some point you're going to differ. How are you going to solve the problem that you're facing as a partnership? You must have a conflict resolution mechanism within that partnership structure. The third component of becoming a very successful partnership, you need zeal. You need enthusiasm. You need a lot of energy because it is consistency that is going to predict your success. If you are not going to have a lot of energy, if you're not going to have a lot of good vibes, positive vibes for your enterprise, for your business, you will not be able to succeed in making that particular organization or partnership succeed. So energy for partnerships that are geared towards profitability, very key. You must be able to attract people who have a lot of, who's a lot of energy, people who's a lot of enthusiasm, people who's a lot of ideas, people who are 100% committed, because we are told that lack of engagement is the #1 cause of lack of productivity in organizations. If you're going to attract a person or a partner who is not enthusiastic, a partner who is not engaged, you are going to have problems and a lot of problems. So in desiring to build a partnership that is going to be productive, attract people who have a lot of energy. As a matter of fact, for me, for example, when I'm recruiting, the first thing I see before I see your emotional intelligence, before I see your intellectual intelligence, you must show a lot of energy. Of course, I know those errors that halo effect and whatnot, but the first thing I see is energy for the business, 100% commitment, 100% engagement. Because we are going to have challenges. How are we going to solve these challenges if your energy is low energy? So attract people of high energy to your enterprise, to your partnership. The other important determinant or predictor of successful partnerships is positivism or optimism. You must attract people who have a lot of leap of faith. If you look at organizations, Microsoft, Zoom, generally, those organizations that have become big in the world, transnational organizations, they believed that they can be able to succeed. They believed that they can be able to overcome certain problems. So if you cannot afford to attract a negative person because dreams are very fragile. Dreams are very fragile. Therefore, you do not, I'm not saying that you attract rubber stamps. I'm not saying that you attract people who only say yes. Criticism is good for growth. But I'm saying that people who see light at the end of the tunnel, criticism is very good for building your potential. Criticism is good. But if you have naysayers that that idea cannot succeed, then you're not going to succeed in your partnership. So we are saying that for you to build a partnership, it must be a legal entity. You must attract people of certain caliber who have certain qualities, ethical practices, optimism, a lot of faith, because certain things need a lot of faith for you to succeed, because sometimes you don't have the answers. You must also decide what kind of business you are in. What services are you going? You cannot be able to serve every Tom, Dick, and Harry. You must focus. You remember the book, In Pursuit of Excellence. One of the key things they tell us, focus. You must decide what business you're in. Of course, we know other strategies of businesses, cost leadership, innovation, and whatnot. So you must decide what kind of business you're in, so that you cannot be able to be found everywhere. Positivism, optimism. You know, positive, of course, these people who are positive and very energetic and very, they get a lot of flack that life is very difficult. Yes, life is difficult, so what? You must attract people who can push you. We need, as human beings, we need a lot of inspiration. And at some point, you're going to fail. Who is going to push you? It is the person who is positive in believing in the business. Okay. And as we have discussed some of the qualities or traits of people you need to attract to your enterprise, who are ethical, who are positive, who are very dedicated, who are very engaged. Let us look at what are some of the theories of entrepreneurship, because if we are looking at money, we are looking at how enterprises come into being. What kind of theories explain the servicing of businesses and enterprises? One of the theories that has been advanced is that inside our communities, we have values, we have certain beliefs that we must become business people. Maybe it is in the family. Those beliefs, those customs, that is why sometimes we get that a family of Indians inherit business from their parents and go forth. Is that where you're coming from? It is related to the sociological and anthropological motivators of becoming a successful business, because you must analyze this. Are you motivated to do business because of sociological reasons? That is the beliefs that you have got to succeed in business. Is it because you believe you have got customs? Is it because your father was a successful business person? That is why you're coming. You must, that is why Faith gave us a question of, if you wanted to start business, what name can you give it and why? You must have a reason why. You must investigate. There are certain psychological parameters, psychological tests that you have to do to see that you are able to do that business. Secondly, the source of entrepreneurship is psychology, how we think. Is it because we have gone to a college that incubates business. That is why I want to start a business. What is our attitude to business? So our society, the values, the beliefs that they have can be a prompt towards becoming. I do not know what prompted Grace to become a business person. I do not know, Irene Temasha, do you have a business? Okay, you must be able to know what is engineering your love for business. It makes your work easier. When you analyze and know, is it sociological reasons? That is why you want to become a business person. Is it psychological reasons which involve thinking, feelings, and all that? Is it because you have an opportunity? Because one of the definitions of entrepreneurship, which is partnership actually, it is that an entrepreneur is a person who exploits opportunities. Earlier, I had said that entrepreneurs are the people who solve problems. It is the ability to see an opportunity. Like if around your office, people are surrounded by very expensive hotels. Supposing you started bringing lunch, supposing you started bringing breakfast. So as a partnership, you must be able to know that I am answering a question about an available opportunity. The other theory of entrepreneurship, having finished with the one for sociology, the other one for psychology, the other one from anthropology, which is about beliefs and values, is resource. Resources are very rare. Resources are very scarce. So supposing you use the resources that are available within your ecosystem and answer people's needs. For example, if you come from Kisii and there are a lot of avocados, you can decide to become an entrepreneur who brings avocados to Nairobi. This evening, I was buying onions and I was asking this person, where did you get these onions from? And he said that they are from Kisii. These days, people say sugarcane, they will lie to you because they know that sugarcane that comes from Kisii and bananas, they're very nutritious. I'm not saying the rest are not, but that is what people say. They are using the resource-based. They bring resources to where those things are lacking. So when you're deciding to become a partnership, you must be able to say, am I getting into a partnership because I have certain resources? Is it gold that I have that is rare within a particular environment? Is it a particular food crop that is unavailable that I should plant and take it where is not, like now, right now, we have a lot of famine. So you must decide what kind of problems your partnership is going to solve and what is motivating you to become a partner in a particular enterprise. We are also told that in partnerships is a question of risk-taking. Business is about risk-taking. Of course, calculated. When you invest your money, you are investing in a place where you can fail or succeed. That should be born in your mind, that you are going to succeed or fail. And for you to be able to determine, you must assess your risk appetite. What is the level? How much money can you lose without being depressed? You must assess your ability to lose certain things. In fact, you're going to be cheated by your partner. That is something you need to know. Because you're undertaking a risk, something you do not know what are the results. You are only saying that you're going to get profit, but within the people you have attracted, you're going to get con men and con women for that matter. So you must be aware of this. You must also be aware that you're going to fail. Most of us do not start businesses because we fear failure. In motivational circles, we say that failure is only a moment for you to learn. You remember the person who started the light bulb, failed 1,000. I'm not sure of the statistics, but that is what he told us, that he did a lot of experimentation, and it is at the 1,000 part that he was able to achieve success. So as a partnership, it is not very rosy. I'm sure Grace will be very excited if I say that business is not very rosy. Business is not a bed of roses. Business attracts a lot of pain. Business attracts a lot of pain. You're going to lose money. You're going to lose friends. So you must be able to know that business is tough. It is not glamorous as we are meant to believe. So as a business person, as a partner, you've got to know that you're going to lose money, you're going to fail, you're going to lack customers. Okay. The last part of my conversation, because I'm seeing time is moving very fast, is some of the benefits of partnerships. Some of the obvious benefits of partnerships are money, of course, because that is the end game. If, for example, you're not into social partnerships, you are focused towards strictly getting profit. You're going to be your own boss, so to speak. It challenges you to have more money. It challenges you to live a better life. So it is something that all the names that you have been able to write, those of us who have not, in fact, I'll encourage you to even have a name that you're not using, because sometimes opportunities can strike. And as we have discovered, one of the theories of entrepreneurship is exploiting the risks, not opportunities that present themselves. Solve certain needs that are available within your environment. The other benefit of partnerships is you complement one another in terms of competencies, because you come together because you have certain competencies, you have certain skills, you have certain attitudes. The attitudes I have are not the same attitudes Damaris has to business. They are not the same skills. So don't bring people who have the same skills with you. Bring a diversity. That's why diversity and inclusion in the enterprise, in the partnership, is very key. Choose people who even question you. Don't be a person who attracts the yes people. Sometimes take that pain of being contradicted. Of course, the 48 laws of power tells you don't outshine your boss. But for you to grow your enterprise into the highest level, you must be able to be contradicted. The book From Good to Great tells us that we should ask questions. Organizations that become big are organizations that encourage questions. That is when you are able to elevate the conversation. Because we are going to see that organizations, for example, like, I don't know if it's Tuskegee or Naivas, that moved from Nakuru to Nairobi and has become a very big business. Your scalability, you cannot scale your business if you do not ask yourself questions and if you do not have varied talents. You cannot have a silo mentality and succeed in a profitable partnership. The third benefit of partnerships behind profit, besides complementing one another, is you are able to leave a legacy. You leave a legacy. It's unfortunate that in Africa, in most cases, we don't leave businesses that leave legacies. There are no models. There are no safeguards. There is no, we normally see very rich people die and then people start fighting. You can see how the wealth of Bob Collymore has been solved very easily because the will is there. So if you want to form a partnership that leaves a legacy, it is important for you to say that this business will outlive me. Probably that is why Frida decided that Transcend should be the name of our mentorship, that it should, if we go in various places, that it will be able to exist without the original creators of the idea. So if you want your partnership to live long, think in terms of legacy, think in terms that this profit is going to expand. Okay. Yeah. Thank you very much. I believe we can research the other benefits of enterprises. We can research on the other rigors of having a partnership. Grace, at that point, I stop for questions.
Thank you very much, Richard. Thank you very much, Richard. That was amazing, 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 amazing. And I think the bottom line, what you're saying is collaboration is a must. Partnerships are necessary when you're forging forward or when you're growing. And we're going to delve deeper into partnerships as we go forward. And not necessarily only in business, even in the world of work. I mean, as an employee, partnerships are also key. You need to work as a team. So allow me to welcome any questions that you guys would be having. Any questions that are from the team, please shoot your questions. And I can see we have a few questions on joining the mentorship. Please be on the lookout. Now, allow me to just remind you guys here this. For those who are joining us for the first time, Transcend is for members, yeah? Transcend is for IHRM members. So if you're a member of IHRM, then you can access Transcend. So be on the lookout for the communication by IHRM. They send their emails with the email that you use to register. So make sure that you stay woke and on communication from IHRM, and please read, and so that you are not left behind. Any questions on the mentorship, or rather partnership? Richard, you have done an amazing, amazing job. I know business is fun, by the way. Businesses are fun, I must admit, but they are also challenging. So I think it's in equal measure. Employment is fun and also challenging as well. So I don't know that we have any questions regarding partnerships. Any question? Any question? Abdi, I don't know whether Nelson is still here, but to sign up for Transcend, the link is on the website of IHRM website. You can actually go in there and sign up. That is the information I'm receiving now. So you can go to the IHRM website and sign up for Transcend as a mentor or a mentee. Be very specific about what you're signing up for so that you can be grouped. I have not seen a question. The questions on here is on mentorship by Paul Ochieng, unless there are some that I missed out, but there are no questions so far. So I'm assuming that we have really caught up with what Richard was talking about, and we are in tandem. But Richard, let me ask you, how do you protect yourself from some unworkable partnerships?
That is a very good question. As a victim of unworkable partnerships, I will tell you that the first stop as a safety measure is the legal mechanism. Okay, you must be able to bring a legal instrument that spells out the do's and don'ts of the organization. The other bit is what we were doing, I think, yesterday, audit. You must have an element of auditing. You must create an independent audit strategy for your partnership that audits the processes, that audits the finances, that audits the entire partnership, such that you are able to know, are you on the right track in terms of customer care? Are you on the right track in terms of finances? Are you on the right track on human resources? And as I've mentioned, human resources are the very important instrument of success in a partnership. you must attract people who have a track record. Of course, nothing is foolproof, but at least those are the building blocks of protecting yourself. The other thing is instinct. Always follow your instinct sometimes. Have a gut feeling. Have a gut feeling that this person, we are going to last for long. The reason why I'm saying that I have suffered, I'll keep on saying this, because I disobeyed my instinct. In business, that good feeling with somebody is very important to protect you when you're starting a partnership.
Amazing, amazing, Richard. I hear you, and I know what you mean. We were, I think there was a conference that was happening, and one of the challenges was for you to grow, you need to collaborate. Why take on a small job that you can only handle by yourself, and you can focus on a bigger job and plug in a few other people and make sure that you form a force, you know, like a force, and you're able to take on bigger projects than when the things that you can do alone. But like Elizabeth Okumu is saying, should profits be the reason for partnerships? Should profits be the reason for creating partnerships?
Not quite. There are enterprises for profit making, maximizing profit. There are social enterprises that like NGOs that are geared to solving certain problems. So you can decide, me, I love money. I want money and more money. And there are those who want to solve malnutrition. There are those who want to promote wellness. There are those who want to promote other things that are not profit-oriented. So there are so many partnerships that you can be able to form other than the ones that are geared towards getting money. CBOs, for example, community-based organizations, they do not have a profit element in them. Certain NGOs, for example, creating awareness. Let us say you want to create a diabetic awareness organization, partnership. There is no profit into it. So you have to decide whether you're a person who loves money or you're a person who loves social enterprises that are geared towards creating other objectives in life. It can be democracy, promotion of democracy. It can be promotion of education, and necessarily you do not need money.
All right.
As an objective.
I hear you. And Damaris is adding, also take time to confirm value alignment. By the way, when you are not aligned, it can backfire. But because who is saying, Joshua says, great to learn that you should not disobey your instinct. It's just like any relationship. Even if you're starting to date and you can feel that this guy is not the person or this lady is not, please make sure you don't get into that, because you're doubting, already you have a mindset. So it may not really work out. But are all instincts in the right directions? Most of them are. Your gut is just never wrong. Now, because I see we are also starting to lose a few people because we are also past time, allow me to ask the last question from Eric Obiero, because I know Nelson is waiting for us on the Tech Talk. So Eric Obiero is saying, who is the most common challenge when it comes, which is the most common challenge when it comes to partnerships?
For me, I will say partnerships, it is finding the right resources. It is not money the way most people think, because you can be able to be, we have venture capitalists. If you have got a good idea, your idea can be promoted by certain people who invest in ideas. So it is not money, which is the greatest challenge. If you have a good product, if you have a good service, you can be able to, like the other day I was reading, Grace, of a person who is providing refrigerators, a cooling room in where we buy meat, a lot of meat. What is the name? Along Mombasa, Jogoo Road. Bama. She has brought 2 coolers, and for every 1,000 kilos, I think she gets 5 shillings. So you can see, and she didn't have one, and she has gotten a lot of sponsorship in that idea. So you can see it is not money really. The question is bringing your mental powers into focus. If you have a well-written idea and you are able to execute, you have a team that can execute, you have drawn very good job descriptions, you will not fail. Even if you fail, there's that resilience. So for me, then it is having the right mental position that becomes the greatest challenge, because they are self-limiting beliefs, and these are human capability problems. So for me, it is having that self-belief that becomes a challenge. If you are able to overcome those limitations, you can be able to form partnerships that are enduring.
All right, Richard. Amina Abdi, you wanted to say something? Amina Abdi, your hand is up. Okay. Trust is becoming extinct in partnership. Do we regard it as risk we need to undertake?
Yeah.
That question is for me or the
Yes, for you.
Trust.
It's been asked by the same lady, Amina.
Trust is rare. That is why you need to be very prudent when you're choosing a partner for your enterprise. There are red flags in a person that will make you reduce your trust. Certain things are given on trust, not intelligence. That is why you hear that loyalty is more important than intelligence. So a person observes you and starts to build trust. Equally, yourself, if you want, Amina Abdi is the same person who asked the question. So trust is something that you can be able to observe, check the red flags, check the, there are so many tests that you can be able to do. There are no hard and fast rules, but I can only say that check the red flags for you to start. And of course, even the nicest person can become a problem. So there is no one size fits all. Even the most trusted person can become a problem. So you have got to brace yourself that I'm getting into business, something is bound to happen that is going to frustrate our relationship. So don't fear because there is no trust. You will always forever fear that, I don't trust human beings. You will never pick up. You will never have a takeoff. So it is a question of risk. You know, we have been told that one of the theories of entrepreneurship is risk. If you are refusing to start business because you have trust issues. In fact, sometimes you should be able to assess yourself. You know, there's that projection of trust as well. Are you projecting your lack of trust to the other person? Do you want all the profits alone? That is where you have a trust problem. So you have got, it is both ways.
All right. Thank you very much, Richard. I think at this point, let me just read a comment. People come into partnership for specific interest. It's always important to understand their interest. Misunderstanding this brings trouble down the road. I think that is a good conclusion. So thank you so much, Richard. That was quite an engaging and eye-opening conversation. As we move on to milestone 2, or our second P of the matrix, of the mentorship matrix, I think we are going to learn more about partnerships and other important aspects of growing, and as we transcend, as we elevate, as we empower. So allow me to take this opportunity to welcome Madam Irene Kimashia, who will give a vote of thanks. But I will recognize all the mentors and the mentees in the room. Thank you very much for your dedication. Thank you for making that you're doing, and we do not take it for granted. So Madam Irene Kimashia, if you can come in.
Thank you, Grace. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
All right. Good evening to all, and thank you so much for the opportunity. I'm going to keep it very brief because Madam Kuresha spoke earlier, and I've been listening in. So first and foremost is really to thank each one of you for sparing the time to join this session this evening. We appreciate the commitment that you have made to Transcend. We do not take it for granted that you take this program so seriously. We also take it very seriously. And it has been a great 3 months of rolling this out, and for it to take shape. We are very grateful for that. Secondly, is to thank Richie, Coach Richie, who is also a member of TST, the one that Madam Kuresha talked about. Richie, thank you so much for the wonderful presentation. So milestone, the second P is about profitable partnerships. And so Richie has kicked this off for us, and we thank you for doing that. Please be on the lookout for the communication for the rest of the master classes, as well as the milestone celebrations. I think also the TST team led by Frida and Madam Kuresha, thank you for your leadership and for keeping us going and for the guidance as we roll this out. I've seen a lot of questions around how can one plug in to Transcend, and how do you get the information? The information about Transcend is available on our website, www.ihrm.or.ke. You can also write to transcend@ihrm.or.ke. Just indicate whether you want to be a mentor or a mentee, and we can share the details with you. The next cohort, we're likely to open it up in January or the end of December, depending on how the schedules are. And so please be on the lookout for the opening of the second cohort. We had people who enrolled for the first one, but then they got caught up and missed out on some of the communication, and so they were left behind. So if you're interested, drop us an email so that we can add you to the waiting list, and so that we can share that information with you as well. Other than that, for the Transcend members in the different circles, please share your reports. Some of us are doing very well, and we thank you, the mentee leaders and the mentor leaders, for sharing the updates in good time. But we still have some who are struggling. So please share with us your reports. Reach out to Damaris or Grace or myself where you're struggling, so that we are able to support you. We will be calling, like Madam Kuresha said earlier, just to sample your experience and get feedback, and also reach out to those who are behind compared to the rest of the circles, so that we can all be on the same page. So please share with us your reports, your updated schedule of members, because some have dropped off along the way, as is expected. So please just share with us so that we can update our records. I think, Grace, unless there's something else that you may need me to clarify on, I will leave it at that. And thank you all for staying on. And thank you, Grace, for moderating. And wish you all a good evening and a good night.
Thank you, Irene. We appreciate as well.
Yeah, thank you, Irene, as well, for coordinating us and making sure that we are doing what we're supposed to do. Sometimes we get caught up, so we appreciate your leadership as well. So other than that, I believe, Richard, parting shot, one sentence.
Take the plunge, risk. Don't die with those ideas.
Excellent. So I guess we are good to go. Thank you so much, everyone who is here. Faith, thank you for your participation. Team Passion Profit, we appreciate you. We thank you for making the time and also taking this on with your whole heart. Thank you, team at IHRM. We are really, really grateful. And of course, Damaris, Richard, thank you very much, especially for today. You guys are awesome support. And as we forge forward, we hope to continue growing and making impact as we move along. So have yourselves a lovely, lovely evening, and see you on the other side as we go to HR Tech Talk. Jackie, are you waiting for the music in the background at Grace? Okay, coming soon, coming up, right? I think, Dan, I am becoming a DJ, I think, at this rate. But right, so have yourselves a lovely evening.
A quick one. I've just remembered, I don't know whether you mentioned it when I was away. We have the HR Awards 2022. And so we encourage all members to submit. We have various categories for individuals as well as organizations. Please visit the website. A lot of communication is going out around this. We have government covered, counties, parastatals. Please submit, and let's do this. We usually have so much fun at the awards, so you don't want to miss out. Asante.
Absolutely, absolutely. Now, Richard and I will be at the dinner to hand over the mantle to the new people. But we are very excited and looking forward to the dinner at the 9th. Actually, the mentors who are here, have you seen there's the mentor of the year? You can actually take that up. It is for you guys. So make sure that you submit your applications. So thank you so much, Irene, for that reminder. And everyone else, have yourselves a lovely, lovely evening. Good night.
Good night. Good night, Grace. Good night, everybody.
I hear the ticking of the clock. I'm lying here, the room's pitch dark. I wonder where you are tonight. No answer on the telephone. And the night goes by so very slow. Oh, I hope that it won't end though. Alone. Till now, I've always gone by on my own. I never really cared until I met you. And now it chills me to the bone. How do I get you alone? How do I get you alone? You don't know how long I've wanted to touch your lips and hold you tight. You don't know how long I have waited, and I was gonna tell you tonight. But the secret is still my own. Oh, my love for you is still unknown. Alone. Till now, I've always gone by on my own. I never really cared until I met you. And now it chills me to the bone. How do I get you alone? How do I get you alone? Till now, I've always gone by on my own. I never really cared until I met you. And now it chills me to the bone. How do I get you alone? How do I get you alone? How do I get you alone?
I see forever when I look in your eyes. You're all I ever wanted. I always wanted to be mine. Let's make a promise till the end of time.